Good morning. My name is Alice Hughes. This morning, listening to the news, I heard reports that if you get the virus, that it's really important to practice deep breathing to keep the lungs really moving and open. Um, as a voice teacher, conductor, singer here in the Santa Cruz, California area, I decided I would offer tips on how to breathe deeply. Most of us don't breathe deeply. We forget how to breathe when we learn to swim, and the swim instructor says, hold your breath when you go underwater, and we hold and we create tension, and we learn to backwards breathe. So today I'm going to give you a few techniques for how to learn how to breathe deeply and getting a full lung full of air. And this is just good breathing for all the time for you singers out here. This is just good breathing. I'm going to start by doing what I do with my beginning singers to get them to experience how to use the abdominal muscles to help the diaphragm to drop fully so that the lungs can fully expand. So this is a beginning technique just for learning to feel how those abdominal muscles work. This is not an advanced technique. This is a crutch to learn how the muscles work. So when we first learn to breathe, we have to learn how to release the abdominal wall, which then allows the diaphragm to drop, which then allows the lungs to fill. The lungs are a vacuum. If you set the conditions for the lungs to fill, the lungs can fill with air. So the first thing I do is something that I call an exaggerated exhalation. By doing this exaggerated exhalation, it's easy to feel the motion of the release of the abdominal wall, which allows the diaphragm to descend, which allows the lungs to fill deeply to the bottom. Fill deeply to the bottom. So here's what we do is we simply start by blowing out all of our air. When we do that, we make the abdominal muscles go towards the spinal cord. And then we release those muscles and let the air rush in. Let me show you what my abdominal muscles are doing. Yes, that yoga ball we're going to use in a minute. So we blow out in an exaggerated way. We release those muscles and the air rushes in. We blow out. We release. We blow out. We release. We blow out. We release. Now, you can do that same thing and you can release more slowly. Right now, I'm doing an exaggerated exhalation and a quick release because, again, I'm trying to train the muscles what the action is. So, again, we blow out and we release, and we blow out and we release, and blow out, release. Now, when you're first doing this action, you may feel a little lightheaded, and that's because you're getting more oxygen than you're used to. Okay, so this is a really good exercise to just learn how the action of releasing the abdominal wall to get breath and then blowing out, release the abdominal wall, get breath. Eventually, if you are actually a singer or you want to do this breathing all the time, you don't have to do that exaggerated exhalation. You simply learn how to just release the abdominal wall to get your breath. Okay, you just learn to release that. But it helps to do that exaggerated exhalation as a beginning step. So the other thing that I heard this morning, for those who are suffering from COVID-19, when they first get the symptoms or to try and prevent the lungs from getting damaged, is to practice deep breathing, where you breathe in for 4 counts, you suspend the breath for 4 counts, and then you blow out for 4 counts. And then you do that 6 times, and then on the 6th time, you cough in an exaggerated way, which engages the lower abdominal muscles as well. Now, the doctor I was watching in the UK, he talked about holding the breath for 4 counts. And I think a better model for that is suspending the breath in the way we do when we sing, which is not something that is tense. When we suspend the breath, we're simply keeping those lungs expanded, but not allowing the air to move. But we're not pushing tension onto the body or the lungs. We're simply just staying open. We're keeping the rib cage open for 4 counts. So I'm going to suggest, although I am not a doctor or a pulmonary specialist, I simply am a professional breather. As a singer, I'm a professional breather. So that suspension of the air is a better idea than holding the air. And this lower abdominal, release of the lower abdominal muscles to allow the diaphragm to descend is ultimately getting the air into the lower part of the lungs more deeply. So here's the exercise that is being recommended by pulmonary specialists, which is that you breathe for 4 counts, that you hold it for 4 counts, and that you blow out for 4 counts. So you release the abdominal wall, you suspend the breath, and then you blow out. So without me talking in between, this is what it's going to look like. You can also breathe through the nose if you prefer that, but I would be careful that if you're breathing through the nose, you're not creating tension other places. I think it's really important to maintain this really open feeling so that the muscles aren't getting tense on you. So we're going to do that. I'm going to just do it 3 times, and then I'm going to show you how to do the cough. Okay, so here we go. So we breathe in. Okay, so what the pulmonary specialists are saying is that you do that 6 times. On the 6th time you cough, you'll notice that when you cough, you really engage those lower abdominal muscles. That's causing the diaphragm to push the air more quickly. Good. So one final thing that they're recommending is that after you do that for 6 times with the cough, that you then go lay on your bed face down with a pillow, and you simply practice breathing for 10 minutes. And the reason to lay on the stomach is to allow the back to expand as you're breathing. And what I'm going to suggest is if you have a yoga ball, an even better way to do this is to lay on top of the yoga ball and breathe for 10 minutes. Now I'm going to try to show you that with my yoga ball here. Let me see if I can get that so you can see it. Here's my yoga ball. Okay. And kneel down. And then I'm going to lay across my yoga ball. And I'm just going to breathe. After a few minutes, I might turn my head the other direction. Notice my arms are around the yoga ball, making a nice T across my shoulders. Anyway, this allows the back to open up. So, and the doctors are recommending that you do that for 10 minutes. And that series of exercises you do a couple times a day. Now, the thing is, it's really important to be doing that breathing even when it hurts to breathe, even when your body is aching. The moving of the air is what's going to help us protect our lungs. So, anyway, that's my offering for today. I hope people find it helpful. I hope you are all well. I miss my students. I'm doing video lessons, but it's not the same as having them in my studio every day. I miss my students at school and conducting my choirs. Pretty hard for a person like me who lives with music all the time to not be in that communal situation. But I hope this video about some beginning breathing techniques is helpful to some at this time. If nothing else, it's going to help relax you and help you find some peace and teach you to breathe a little more deeply. Be well. Take care from Santa Cruz, California. Bye.